Warning, if you can't do this, your health might be declining. Are you feeling tired all the time? Struggling to get out of bed, even after a full night's sleep? Or maybe you've noticed you're just not as sharp as you used to be. If this is starting to sound all too familiar, I have to tell you something important. Your health might be in decline. I know it's not easy to hear, and you might want to push it aside or brush it off. But what if the warning signs are here and you're ignoring them? What if you're doing more harm than good by just pretending everything is fine? Listen, it's easy to ignore the small things when life gets busy, but what if I told you that ignoring these things now might lead to a much bigger problem later? And I'm not talking about some distant, far-off possibility. I'm talking about things that can hit close to home and affect your everyday life in ways you can't ignore. Let's get real here. If you can't do something simple, something that many of us take for granted, it might be a sign that your health is slipping through the cracks. If you can't do this, you might be in trouble. Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly is this thing you can't do? It's something so simple, so basic, that it feels almost ridiculous to talk about. It's the act of walking up a flight of stairs without feeling winded, without needing to catch your breath halfway up. Does that sound like something you take for granted? It should be. But if you've noticed that even just a few steps are leaving you out of breath, it's a problem. You might chalk it up to age or a busy lifestyle. But this is the reality. If you can't walk upstairs without feeling like you just ran a marathon, your heart, lungs, and overall health could be in trouble. And I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I am saying that it's a huge red flag. So, let's take a moment to talk about what happens when we start neglecting our health. We get busy. We all do. Whether it's work, family, or just the demands of daily life, it can be hard to find time to take care of ourselves. But here's the thing. When we start skipping the basics, eating right, exercising, getting enough rest, that's when things start to go downhill. We feel it at first in small ways, a bit more tired, a bit more sluggish. But over time, these small problems pile up, until one day, we can't ignore them anymore. Think about this. You're sitting at your desk, you've been working non-stop for hours. Your back aches, your shoulders are tight, and you're feeling exhausted. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal. You grab a snack, maybe even a coffee, and power through. But what's happening beneath the surface? You're ignoring the signals your body is sending. The aches are your body's way of saying, I need a break. I need movement. I need better care. But you keep pushing through. And every time you do, you risk making the problem worse. Eventually, it's not just your back that hurts. You start to feel more sluggish, more mentally drained, and less motivated. It's a chain reaction, and it starts with those small ignored signs. You might tell yourself, I'm too busy to exercise, or I don't have time to cook healthy meals. We all have those thoughts. But if you're constantly putting your health on the back burner, your body will eventually catch up with you. It will start to break down, little by little. And once you reach that point where even basic movements become a struggle, it's not just a wake-up call, it's a warning. There's a deeper issue at play here, one that might not be immediately obvious. We live in a world where we're constantly told to do more, achieve more, and be more. And that pressure, whether it's coming from your job, your family, or even from your own expectations, can make you feel like there's no time for self-care. But the truth is, you're doing more harm than good by ignoring your health. If you don't take care of yourself now, you'll be forced to deal with the consequences later, and trust me, those consequences are not pretty. They'll show up in ways that will take a toll on your body, your mind, and your spirit. Let me give you an example. You're sitting at home, watching TV after a long day. You're exhausted, and your body is begging for rest. But instead of listening to that, you grab your phone and scroll through social media. You tell yourself that you're just relaxing, but deep down, you know you're not really resting. Your mind is still running. You're still plugged into the world around you. And while you may not realize it, this constant overstimulation is taking a toll on your mental health. It's creating a cycle where you can't truly unwind, and you never give your brain the space it needs to recover. Eventually, it shows up in your ability to concentrate, your memory, and your overall mood. But you ignore it, telling yourself, it's just a phase. The problem is, it's not just a phase. It's a sign that your mental health is starting to decline. I get it. You're doing your best. You're trying to juggle everything. But you can't keep putting yourself last. Your health isn't something you can just ignore or push aside. The moment you start neglecting it, that's when things start to go wrong. If you find yourself out of breath after a few stairs, feeling mentally drained, or constantly ignoring those small signs your body is giving you, it's time to pay attention. Those little signals are your body's way of telling you that something's wrong, and you need to make a change before it gets worse. But I want to tell you something important. It's not too late. You don't have to wait until you're gasping for breath or struggling to get out of bed in the morning. You can start making small changes today. You can begin by taking a few minutes each day to move your body. Whether it's going for a walk or stretching for a few minutes in the morning, every little bit counts. You can start eating better, making choices that nourish your body instead of drain it. You can give your mind the break it deserves, allowing yourself to rest and recharge. It doesn't take much, but it does take consistency. If you can't do this simple thing, take a step back and pay attention to what your body and mind are telling you. Your health is on the line. But if you choose to make a change, if you choose to listen to the warning signs, you have the power to turn things around. It's not too late. You don't have to wait until it's a crisis. You can take action now and start making those small life-changing decisions today. Your health depends on it. How can you start making small changes now to prevent your health from getting worse? First things first. If you're like most people, you probably feel like there's never enough time in the day. Between work, family, friends, and just trying to keep up with life, it feels like there's no space left for self-care. But here's the truth. You can't afford not to make time for your health. I know it might feel overwhelming, but making small changes doesn't require hours at the gym or drastic shifts in your routine. It starts with one small step. You've heard it before, but it's true, small, consistent changes add up over time. And if you don't start now, those small neglects will add up too. So, let's break this down and get you started on a path that feels doable. The first thing you need to do is stop ignoring the small signs your body is sending you. If you're constantly tired, if your body aches when it used to feel fine, or if you find it hard to concentrate on things you used to enjoy, these are all red flags. I'm not saying these things should paralyze you with fear, but they should make you stop and think. This isn't normal, and it's not something to brush off. What's happening is your body is telling you that it's not getting the care it needs. And ignoring these signals now is only going to make it worse later. But here's the good news. You can start making changes today. Let's talk about how. One of the simplest changes you can make is to focus on your movement. I know. You've heard it 1,000 times. Move more, exercise. But hear me out. It doesn't have to be a full workout session every day. It can start with something as simple as getting up and moving around every hour. If you've been sitting for a while, get up and walk around your house or office for a few minutes. Stretch your arms, your legs, and your back. Simple stretches or movements like this help improve circulation, ease tension, and keep your energy levels higher throughout the day. It's not about pushing your body to the limit. It's about listening to it and giving it what it needs. Taking small breaks and moving your body can be a game changer for your overall health. Now, let's talk about one of the most important things for your health: sleep. If you're not getting enough rest, nothing else matters. You can eat all the healthy food in the world, but without proper sleep, your body can't function the way it's supposed to. It's so easy to stay up late, scrolling through your phone or watching TV, convincing yourself that you'll sleep when you're tired. But guess what? You won't get the rest you need if you don't prioritize it. You need to set a bedtime and stick to it. You need to create a bedtime routine that signals to your body that it's time to wind down. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Try reading, meditating, or even taking a warm bath to relax your mind and body. It doesn't matter how busy you are, getting enough sleep is non-negotiable. You don't have to be perfect. Just start by aiming for a consistent sleep schedule, and you'll notice the difference in how you feel during the day. Then, there's your diet. I get it. Healthy eating can seem complicated, especially with the demands of life. But it doesn't have to be. You don't need to completely overhaul everything you eat. Start small. Make one healthier choice today. Maybe you choose a fruit instead of a sugary snack or swap out that afternoon soda for a glass of water. Every little change adds up. If you're eating processed foods most of the time, try replacing just one meal a day with something healthier, like a salad or a lean protein and vegetable combination. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress, even if it's just one small change at a time. And when you start to see how much better you feel, how much more energy you have, how your mood improves, how your body starts to feel lighter, you'll be motivated to keep going. And while we're on the topic of your diet, let's not forget about hydration. How often do you find yourself drinking coffee or sugary drinks throughout the day, only to realize you haven't had any water? Staying hydrated is one of the most important things you can do for your health. It impacts your energy levels, your mood, and even your skin. So, start by making it a goal to drink more water every day. Set a reminder if you have to. Make it a habit. Try to drink at least 8 cups of water a day. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel when your body is properly hydrated. Another simple change you can make is to start managing stress better. Stress is one of the biggest contributors to poor health. It affects your heart, your immune system, and your mental well-being. But you don't have to let stress control your life. You can take control by finding ways to manage it. This can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and slowly exhale. Do this for just a few minutes and see how much calmer you feel. Or you can take a walk, listen to calming music, or journal your thoughts. There are countless ways to reduce stress, but it all starts with you taking a step back and making it a priority. Lastly, let's talk about your mindset. The biggest barrier to making changes in your life is the belief that you can't do it. You tell yourself that it's too late or that it's too hard. But I'm here to tell you that it's not too late. It's never too late. You can start making changes right now, no matter where you are in your journey. Stop telling yourself that you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month. The truth is, if you want to make a change, you have to start today. Every small change you make, no matter how small it seems, is a step in the right direction. It's about being consistent. It's about being kind to yourself and taking it one day at a time. Am I already too far gone, or is it still possible to turn things around before it's too late? Are you sitting there, wondering if it's already too late to change? Have you been feeling lost, stuck in a place that feels like it's impossible to escape? Maybe you've been struggling with things for what feels like forever. Whether it's a job you hate, relationships that drain you, health issues that won't go away, or habits that seem impossible to break, you're wondering if you're too far gone. You might even feel like you've missed your chance and that you're running out of time. But here's the thing, no matter where you are in life, no matter how long you've been stuck in the same place, it's never too late to turn things around. The truth is, you're never as far gone as you think. But it's also not going to just happen by chance. You've got to make the choice. Right now. It's not easy, but it's possible. It's understandable to feel hopeless sometimes, especially when it feels like you've been trying to change for what seems like an eternity, only to fall back into the same old patterns. It's like you're stuck in a loop that you can't escape, and every time you try to make a move forward, you feel yourself slipping back. You might even be asking, is it too late to fix this? Is it too late for me? It's easy to think that the mistakes you've made are permanent, that the time you've wasted can't be undone. But listen, you're still here. And that means there's still time. There's always time for a change, no matter how many years or months have passed. So many people feel like they've missed the boat, like their window of opportunity has closed. But that's a lie you've been telling yourself. The truth is, you are never too far gone as long as you are breathing. And the moment you realize that is the moment you open the door to the possibility of turning things around. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have everything figured out right away. But you do have to be honest with yourself. You have to admit that you can't keep going on like this. That's the first step. The hardest part is not about being good enough or trying to live up to some standard, it's simply about being willing to change. If you're willing to put in the effort, no matter how small, then things can absolutely turn around. It's easy to feel like you've made too many wrong decisions, that you've built up too much damage in your life for it to ever get better. But you're not broken. You may have gone through hard times, made mistakes, and experienced failure, but none of that means you can't make things right again. Everyone has moments when they think they've gone too far, but that doesn't mean the road to recovery is closed. In fact, you might just be at the point where change is easier than you think. It all starts with believing that it's possible. It starts with shifting the mindset that it's too late to one that says, I can still make a change. I can still fight for something better. What makes it harder is when you start comparing yourself to others. You might see people around you living their best lives, achieving things that you think are impossible for you. They seem to have it all together, while you're over here struggling just to get through the day. It's easy to believe that they've figured something out that you haven't. But here's the reality: everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their own path. You don't see the battles other people face behind the scenes. Comparing yourself to them is only going to keep you stuck in your own head. It's easy to think you're too far gone when you're comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Focus on your journey. You can't change the past, but you have control over what happens next. What's in front of you is far more important than what's behind. At this point, you might be wondering, okay, I hear what you're saying, but how do I actually turn things around? Where do I even begin? And that's the big question. It's not easy to take the first step, especially when you feel like you've been stuck for so long. But I want you to know this: you don't need to have everything figured out to get started. You don't need a detailed plan to begin. You just need to make the decision that you're ready for change. Once you make that decision, the next step is to take action. But don't make the mistake of thinking that you need to fix everything all at once. You don't. The key is to start small. Small changes over time lead to big transformations. You don't have to jump to the finish line today. All you have to do is take one step. That's it. One step towards something better. Start by choosing just one thing that you know needs to change. Maybe it's getting out of bed a little earlier to start your day with more intention. Maybe it's setting boundaries with someone who's been draining your energy. Maybe it's prioritizing your health by drinking more water or cutting out the junk food that's making you feel sluggish. Whatever it is, make that one small change. And don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment doesn't exist. If you wait for everything to fall into place before making a change, you'll never do it. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. That's how you begin. It's also crucial to change the way you talk to yourself. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be your worst enemy. The way you speak to yourself has a direct impact on how you feel about yourself and what you're able to achieve. If you constantly tell yourself that it's too late, that you've messed up too many times, that you'll never be able to change, then guess what? You'll stay stuck. But if you change that narrative, if you start speaking to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and belief in your ability to move forward, that's when you'll see things shift. Stop focusing on how much you've failed, and start focusing on how much you can still achieve. Every day is a new chance to begin again. If you've fallen off track, you can get back on. You don't have to wait for tomorrow or next week or next year. Right now is all you need. There will be setbacks, that's a given. Change doesn't happen in a straight line. There will be days when you feel like you're not making progress. But that doesn't mean you've failed. Setbacks are part of the process. It's how you handle those setbacks that matters. Don't beat yourself up over them. Don't let them convince you that it's too late. Instead, use them as opportunities to learn, to grow stronger, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of turning things around. Every setback is just a lesson in disguise. And one more thing, don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Sometimes we try to do everything on our own because we're afraid of being judged or seen as incapable. But the truth is, no one has all the answers. And asking for help can be one of the most powerful steps you take toward change. Whether it's talking to a friend, seeing a therapist, or hiring a coach, getting support can help you get unstuck and move forward faster. You don't have to do it alone. So, are you too far gone? Absolutely not. You're still here. And as long as you're still breathing, you have the ability to turn things around. It's not going to happen overnight, but with small, consistent steps, you can completely transform your life. But the key is to start now. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to begin. Start with that one step. Then take another. And another. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that the change you thought was impossible was something you created, step by step. You've got this. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.